Adding a package to your Flutter project is fairly straightforward, but there's a lot more to Pubspec and dependency management than simply using the Flutter pub add command. As your Flutter project evolves, you'll need to use many of the additional features and commands of Pubspec and the Pub Package Manager. If you're new to Flutter, then this will be a high ROI video. In this video, we'll cover the ins and outs of the pubspec.yml file and the Pub Package Manager. You'll flatten your learning curve and learn the most important pub and pubspec concepts in under 10 minutes. By establishing the solid foundation up front, you'll save considerable time in the future. All right, let's jump in. We'll start by creating a new Flutter project and then open it in VS Code. The pubspec.yml file performs three functions: storing basic metadata, managing assets, and managing packages and dependencies. The first handful of lines at the top of the file contain project metadata, including the project name, description, a published to field, and a version number. This is useful information that can help developers gain an understanding of the details of a project. More importantly, if you decide to publish your code and make it available as a package on the Pub.dev package repository, this metadata is required. We haven't talked about packages and Pub.dev yet, but for now, it's enough to know that it's possible to share Flutter code as a package, and in order to do so, a pubspec.yml file containing this data is required. The second and most important use of the pubspec.yml file is managing packages and dependencies. So what exactly does that mean? The Flutter ecosystem has a thriving community that shares thousands of libraries of code, known as packages, that can help you extend the capabilities of your app. These range from font management tools to audio players that you can drop in your app. When packages are added to pubspec.yml, they become a dependency for a given project, because the project now depends on that package to function properly. The Pub Package Manager is a command line tool that is used to download and manage the packages used by our Flutter app. Let's use the pub command to add a package to our app. In VS Code, I'll open up the terminal panel at the bottom. In the project folder, we'll type flutter pub add, followed by a package name. Let's go with the just audio package. So we'll type flutter pub add just_audio and hit enter. When we run this command, pub updates the pubspec.yml file by adding the just audio dependency in the dependencies section. In VS Code, whenever pubspec.yml is updated, the flutter pub get command is triggered. The flutter pub get command downloads the package and related files from the Pub.dev package repository. These package files are not stored within the Flutter project itself. Instead, they are placed in a hidden directory named .pub-cache in your home folder. This approach saves space by only storing a package once, even if multiple projects use the same package. Removing a package is quite simple. Just delete the package reference from pubspec.yml and save the file. This time, the opposite happens. Dependencies are removed instead of being added. It's really important to point out that if a dependency is removed from a Flutter project, the package itself is removed, but any code that references the package will remain until it's manually removed. If you're removing a dependency from a project, it's a really good idea to thoroughly test your app to ensure it functions properly. Using the flutter pub add command is the easiest way to add a package to a Flutter project. All you need to know is the package name, and Pub will fetch the appropriate version number and add it to Pubspec. But it's possible to add a package without using flutter pub add. Instead, you can manually add the package name to Pubspec and save it. Let's add the Google Fonts package. We can type the package name followed by the colon symbol. If we don't know the version number, we can leave it blank and Pub will grab the latest version, but this is generally not recommended. When I save the file, flutter pub get is triggered and the package is downloaded. There are times when a dependency is required in your project, but should not be included in the final production build. These packages should be placed in the Dev Dependencies section. Testing frameworks and document generators are great examples of dev dependencies. The Dependencies section, on the other hand, is intended to contain the packages that are necessary at runtime. Including non-runtime packages in the Dev Dependencies section minimizes the size of the final build of your project. So I already happen to know of the Google Fonts and Just Audio packages. But what if someone isn't familiar with these packages? How would they know how to find them? We can use the Pub.dev package repository to easily browse and search for Dart and Flutter packages. Let's do a search for fonts. Notice that there are over 1,200 packages available. Next to each result is useful information, including the number of likes, pub points, and popularity. These data points can be helpful when evaluating a package. I'll click on Google Fonts. You'll notice that there's a ton of information on the package's features and how to implement it. You can click on the Installing tab on any package to learn how to install it. In most cases, you'll use the Flutter pub add command to add the package as a dependency to your project. You might have noticed that the version numbers for the packages we've added to our project are pretty elaborate. They usually start with a caret symbol and contain multiple dots. So what's going on here? The three numbers separated by the dots represent the major version, the minor version, and the patch number. This is known as semantic versioning. The caret symbol at the beginning means that patching updates are allowed. This is known as a version constraint. We can use the tilde character instead of the caret to allow minor version updates. The greater than and equal to characters can be used to specify the minimum version allowed. So any new version of a package, as long as it's greater than or equal to the version listed, will be updated when an update is available. In general, the caret is a safe choice when specifying a package version. So if version 6.2.2 of Google Fonts is released, the next time pub.get is run, the Google Fonts package will be updated. However, if version 6.3.1 or version 7.0.0 is released, neither one will be updated because these are minor and major updates and not a patch update. So, as mentioned, when we add a package to our project, it becomes a dependency of the project. But oftentimes, the packages we install will in turn depend on a number of other packages in order to function properly. When Flutter pub.get is run, the pub package manager resolves these dependencies automatically. All of these subdependencies are added to the pubspec.lock file. If we take a closer look at the pubspec.lock file, we'll see that there are quite a few packages listed here. This is the exhaustive set of dependencies required by our project. It's important to note that the pubspec.lock file uses precise version numbers for each package, whereas in pubspec.yml, it's more common to see a version range. Pubspec.lock should not be edited. This file is managed by pub and is updated each time changes are made to pubspec.yml. So far, the packages that we've worked with have been installed as local dependencies. This means that if we want to use one of these packages in another project on our machine, we'd need to install it in that project as well. A global package, on the other hand, is available to all apps on a computer. Typically, command line tools such as Flutterfire or Pub.dev are set up as global packages. Let's install the Pub.dev package. Notice in the installation instructions, instead of pub add Pub.dev, we use pub global activate Pub.dev. This indicates the package is being installed globally. You'll also notice that the installation instructions call for Dart pub instead of Flutter pub. The Flutter pub command is basically an alias for Dart pub and will do the same thing. You can use either one. One last but important point on global packages. The vast majority of packages you'll use for your Flutter projects are intended to be installed as local dependencies and can't be installed as a global package. This means you can't install a package such as the Google Fonts package as a global package, even if you intend to use it on every Flutter project on your machine. You'll need to install the package within each project. The pubspec.yml file is also used to manage local assets such as images, icons, audio clips, and video clips. Assets are added to a Flutter project by declaring them in the Assets section. The default pubspec.yml file contains a few examples that have been commented out. Let's uncomment one to add an image asset to our project. Notice that when we save the pubspec file, we receive a warning from VS Code. This is happening because an asset has been declared, but the file itself does not exist. Assets are typically placed in an assets folder in the root of the Flutter project. This folder does not exist in the default Flutter project and needs to be created. Once we create the folder, add the asset, and save the file, the warning disappears. You can name this folder whatever you'd like, but assets is a common choice. If your project contains many asset files, you can create additional subfolders such as images, audio, and video. For large projects, listing each asset file can be tedious and error-prone. Instead, you can simply add the folder name to the asset section. All right, we've covered a lot in a short period of time. The concepts we've explored in this video were meant to give you a deeper understanding of the pubspec.yml file and dependency management. While not exhaustive, the topics we've explored will cover the vast majority of PubSpec-related tasks you'll need to perform. If you found this guide helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more Flutter tutorials. Don't hesitate to drop your questions or topics you'd like me to cover in the comments below. Happy coding, and I'll see you in the next video.